One. All right, welcome back to another episode of Philadelphia Eagles Talk with Geoff and Matt. And another week has gone by. Not a lot in terms of any newsworthy events or, Eagles news is kind of seriously part of the offseason right now as Eagles are gearing up for the Combine. This is going to have their scouts and all their top brass there watching in Indianapolis as they prepare for the draft. And, of course, behind the scenes, trying to probably formulate a plan for free agency that we covered our last episode. So anybody who wants to look at our thoughts about free agency, just go back one episode. Matt and I did a whole podcast on not free agency as general, just the Eagles players and free agency. So, Matt, this is going to be a fun show because we're going to go over, as promised, our preseason predictions, which is always fun. Basically, Matt and I, before the season starts, I have a bunch of categories, ask a bunch of questions as far as what we're going to predict, both team-wise and player-wise, kind of seal up the envelope and then tear it back open at the end of the season to see how we did. So, Matt, any thoughts before we dive into it?
No, what's funny is I wonder if either one of us would have predicted the Eagles winning the Super Bowl if we dealt with that question.
We did not have that as a question. But
nope.
Yeah.
Because I'm not sure. I'm looking back.
I
wonder. I'm like, would I have called that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Probably. Well, I think we both did say that we thought that they were a playoff team, but we never went that far as saying, they're going to win the Super Bowl.
I would have been heavy on Detroit, I think, probably is my number one.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, we also didn't know that they were going to be as impressive as they were until really the season started,
Yep.
Got out of the way. All right. I finally remembered to get my super up there on time.
There you go.
Usually I'm late with them.
Maybe we don't need a producer.
I do it quickly, so I'm like, did I spell predictions right? Okay. All right. So without any further ado, we're going to start off with Jalen Hurts. Okay. Now, I didn't do a tally, so I'm not sure who won. This is kind of like a friendly head-to-head competition between Matt and I, see who does better. I think I edged you out last year a little by one or two. I don't remember, though. I honestly don't remember who did better last year, but anyway, here we go. Hurts passing touchdowns. Okay, passing touchdowns. I laugh at my guesses, and we were both really high on Hurts, which we kind of mentioned during the season that we were like, man, our numbers are a little high on Hurts's numbers. Definitely were. So, Matt's prediction. Matt, your prediction was 26 passing touchdowns. Mine was 31. Survey says 18.
18. Wow.
I was 15 over, which means you get the price. You get the Price is Right victory with your 26 pick.
26. I'm surprised you didn't hit 26, but
yeah, 18 passing touchdowns for Hurts. So Matt takes that category.
I thought for sure you'd have 20. I mean, the line in Vegas.
Yeah.
I wonder what the preseason bet in Vegas was on that, like 18.5.
I don't know, but
I would guess that would have been up in the 20s at least, like low 20s.
Oh yeah, I mean, I thought 20 was. I guess 31. So clearly, I thought 20 was easy benchmark. Rushing touchdowns by Hurts. Okay, Matt guessed 9. I had 8.
9.
It says 14.
I was going to say 15, 14. Okay, yeah.
So Matt wins again by 1. He guessed 9. I guessed 8. He's closer. 2-0.
Boom.
Even though both of our guesses were way off.
Yeah.
Again, I think we both thought. I know what my thought was. Is that with Saquon there, he would take more of the tush pushes away, and it really didn't happen this year. They still stuck with the tush push inside the 3 yards.
Well, hang on. Out of total touchdowns, though, how far were we off? So if you add 14 plus 18, we're talking
total touchdowns 32.
32, right? So
yeah,
9 plus.
So you're at 34, and I'm at 39. So you're still.
So I'm only off by 2 total touchdowns, though. That's not bad.
35 rather. 35 for you.
35.
So you'd be out by 3. But yeah,
3.
still close to me. I was off by 7.
That's it.
Yeah, we'll do that next year if I remember to do the total as well.
Yeah.
Just didn't do it this year. Passing yards for Hurts. This is astronomically inaccurate. Matt guessed 4,001.
And 1, right? Yeah, I remember being 4th, 1 yard. Yep.
And I guessed, I'm like, that ain't high enough. I'm going to go 4,131.
He had to be around 3,500, maybe 33.
Survey says 2,903.
Wow. Less than 3,000 yards. I hope teams are paying attention, NFL. If you play defense and you run the ball, you can win.
Yeah. So Matt takes that one too. So he is off to a 3-0 start.
With my 4,000,
Even though you're off by over 1,000 yards.
With my 1,015-yard inaccuracy. Yeah.
I don't know if I got a comeback in me here, but we're early on. So leading in receptions. Okay. The leader in receptions. Matt guessed A.J. Brown.
AJ is what I guessed, yeah.
I guessed Devontae Smith. Survey says Devontae Smith by 1 reception over A.J.
I was
Brown.
going to say, that one has to be close to
67.
Wow.
I get my first.
That's sharing the offensive
68 to 67. He had one more catch, which gets me my first correct prediction. Thank you, Devontae. All right, moving on. Yards, reception yards. Matt guessed Brown, AJ,
yeah.
And I also guessed AJ Brown. The correct answer, AJ Brown, 1,079 receiving yards. So we both.
He did get to.
We tied it. Tied on that one. Okay, touchdowns, receiving touchdowns.
You don't happen to know where Smith finished, right? Did he hit 1,000 or no?
No, I do have his number. 883, I think.
Okay.
He was almost just under 900.
Gotcha.
Remember, he missed a couple games?
Yep.
So he probably would have got there. I think Brown missed one game too, so he might have been higher as well. But anyway, that's what it ended up at, 1,079 for Brown. Touchdown receptions on the season. We both once again guessed A.J. Brown. The correct answer, Devontae Smith. 8.
Bet you that was close too.
AJ had 7.
7, yeah. That's crazy.
So we both got that one wrong. Good job by Devontae Smith. All right. Receiving yards for Brown. We kind of just went over this. I'll have the exact numbers here. So we both guessed the receiving yards for Brown. Matt, you guessed 1,376. Me, with my explosive offense predictions for the season, went for 1,490. So you get the win there, as you end up with, again, 1,079.
This is what happens with our predictions when you forget to mention Saquon Barkley. If we did Barkley first, we would have realized there's not that many yards to go around.
Yeah, very true. If we really knew that they were going to turn on the running game this season, which we probably should have at least given more thought to, our numbers would have been down on the passing stuff, passing predictions. All right, Devontae Smith. I already mentioned that he had 833 for the season. Matt, you had 1,190, which if he played 2 more games, he would have probably been close to that. Well, he certainly would have been closer, but he might have been right around that number if he had it. He would have had to have 2 pretty good games, though. And I, again, shooting for the moon, 1,230. So we lose that one also.
I wonder, I wonder what your numbers compare to, like, all-time wide receivers. Like, what is those numbers compared to, like, Marino and Mark Duper and Mark Clayton?
Yeah,
like,
right.
Did those two even come close to the to the yards that you predicted? Like,
I must have thought that Andy Reid was going to come back this year and coach the Eagles.
yeah,
Pass the whole game. I don't know. I'm just
like Randy Moss and Chris Carter. Like, I wonder what their best seasons were compared to what you predicted for yards for the Eagles.
Well, we go on to Goddard. We throw him into the equation. How many yards do we predict him to have? Matt, you guessed 625. Now, again, Goddard missed like 3 or 4 games this year. So,
yeah.
Matt had 625 yards. I, of course, was over that. It was my 710. Goddard had 496.
Well, almost. Okay.
Matt wins that one again. Might as well just throw the white flag in. I'm done. I need a monster comeback at this point.
How many?
Other than the ones we've tied right now, the tabulation 6-1.
Nice.
You
like
got me.
Where did you have Goddard?
I had him at 710.
710. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. This is one I threw in there. Kind of an oddball question, but I kind of like throwing some of these in. By the way, when we do this again next year, if you have, what I'll do is I'll probably throw you because these are usually mine, and I forgot the whole Barkley, because I had Barkley on here, but didn't ask any Barkley questions, which is my fault.
That's why we need a producer.
Yeah, that's why we need a producer. Next year I'll just say, hey Matt, I'm going to do the predictions this week. You got any questions? Any good questions to ask? Because I like these kind of oddball ones. Carries for Shipley. Okay.
I think I was at 50, right? Something around there.
Matt, you were at 56.
56. Okay.
I guessed 27.
I think you're going to win this one.
Shipley had 30 carries.
30. Yeah, that's almost right on. Okay. That's our first under. That's our first under prediction.
Yeah. So I'll take my second. Okay, touchdowns. All right, for.
Hey, are these including the playoffs or just regular season?
This is just regular season. Good question. Just regular season.
Okay.
Yep. Good question. How many touchdowns for Smith, Brown, and Goddard, right? So Matt, for Smith, predicted 8. Exactly what he had. So nailed it. First one nailed right on the nose.
Boom.
Yeah, definitely take a victory lap for that one. I guess 9.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I was as close as you can get, but still lost because you nailed it perfectly. So that's a win for Matt. AJ Brown, as we know, had 7 on the season. Matt guessed 12.
12, yeah.
I guessed 9. So I'll take that one. And then we go to Goddard. I'll tell you what he had. Matt, you guessed 8 for Goddard.
Uh-huh.
I guessed 7. He had 2.
2. That's shocking.
So I've won 2 in a row.
4. He must have had at least 4. No. 2.
Yeah, no, just 2 the whole season. That is shocking. That is definitely shocking. Okay. So now the tabulation is 6-2, 7. It's 7-4. Getting closer. Getting closer.
Uh-oh.
My rally cap. Turn it on. All right, here we go. We're going to defense now. Defense is kind of team stats. Here we go. Sacks. Who will lead the Eagles in sacks?
I think I called this one right.
Matt. Yes, Josh Sweat with 9. He had 8. And he did lead the team. So Matt wins, and you almost predicted it exactly. So great job there. I had Carter with 10. If I knew he was going to be double teamed most of the season, I probably wouldn't have picked him. But he ended up with 4.5. So
only
Matt,
4.5. I thought he would have been at 6 or something. Okay.
He had more in the playoffs, but so did Sweat. But yeah, it's regular season. So Matt takes the sack one. Good job. tackles for loss.
Huh. We may
Matt?
have gotten this one.
Do you remember who you guessed?
I'm going to guess I went with Nolan Smith.
You're gonna laugh your ass off at my guess. When I saw it, I'm like, my God. But I must have been on something that night, man. Because anyway, Matt, you guessed correctly, by the way, 100% correctly. Jalen Carter.
Carter.
He led the team in tackles for loss with 12. My guess for tackles for loss? Josh Huff.
I mean, Bryce Huff.
Or Bryce Huff, whatever. Well, who's Josh Huff? Why do I say
Josh
that?
Huff is a Chip Kelly punt returner.
He's the former wide receiver guy.
Yeah. Arrested with a gun on
I guess freaking Huff.
Walt Bridge.
I guess Huff.
Wow, that's off.
And he actually had 3 tackles for loss. Which is
3.
kind of surprised me. I'm surprised he had even 3. So
Wow.
Matt wins that one emphatically. I had laughed when I saw that, I guess, Huff.
Yeah, it's good to have hope. It's the beginning of the season, preseason.
Yeah, I guess. But
Big free agent signing.
Okay, here we go. So now Matt wins both of them. So now he's up 9-4. So I was getting close, but now it's trailing.
Sure, this feels like Eagles versus Chiefs.
Yeah, it is. Over under 8 interceptions on the season. I put the over under at 8 for the team defense. Okay.
Huh.
Matt, you guessed under 8. I guessed over 8. The Eagles had 12.
Wow. 12 hit season, man.
Yep.
Nice. Good job.
Thank you. Got that one right. Now we're working 9 to 5 as the song goes. Leader in interceptions. Individual player. Leader in interceptions. Matt guessed the rookie, Hinyan Mitchell, with 3. I went with CJ DJ with 4 rather. CJ DJ led the team with 6.
6.
So
well, he took one from Quinion. I would have been only off by 1, but he stole one of mine.
No, he took a couple from Quinion, actually.
He take 2? Yeah, I would have been right on 3.
That's true. I forgot about that. He did take 2. You know what? Yeah, because he ended up with what? He had none during the regular season. He did right? I don't think he had one in the regular season. He got his in the playoffs, I think.
No. Playoffs.
But
First one was against McLaurin.
Had 2 during the regular season, which would have brought CJ down to 2. They would have tied. See, so CJ, he's like, I'm going to get one for Geoff, damn it. Thank you, CJ. It's now 9-6 as we close in. Go to the final grouping here. All right, so 9-6. Matt with the still pretty commanding lead. Tackles by player. Here's what our predictions were. Wait till you see this. Nakobe Dean. Matt guessed 83 tackles for Nakobe Dean. I guessed 80 tackles on the season for Nakobe Dean. Nakobe Dean had 80 tackles on the nose. I freaking called it. I called it as close as you were. I called it exactly. I take it.
Yeah.
Give myself props for that one, man. I nailed it.
That's
right on the nose.
That's insane that we were both that close on total tackles.
Both of us, exactly. 83, definitely nothing to scoff at. I just happened to hit it right on the freaking head. CJ DJ, number of tackles on the season. Matt, 55. I guessed 48. He had 35. These are solo tackles, by the way. Solo tackles.
Yeah.
35. So I get that one by getting closer to prices right. It's now 9-8.
What?
Yes, it is.
I need a producer. I don't think you're doing the math right.
Here we go. Reed Blankenship. Matt guessed 60 tackles. I guessed 71 tackles.
Did we really? We had no faith then in the linebackers tackling, like 70 tackles by safeties.
I guess 71. You're at 60. Correct answer, 52.
Yeah.
Matt
Okay.
takes it. Matt moves back up by 2, 10-8.
We're way high. We were way high on the safeties getting tackles, though.
Yeah. Yeah, we were.
We didn't trust that the linebackers in the middle.
No, he had no idea Bond was going to have this freaking all-pro year.
Who knows?
Or Nicole, well, I guess we guessed Nakobe Dean would. We nailed him perfectly.
Yeah.
All right. Well, here's the thing. We're going into the last 3, and I'm down 2. Could not get any closer. Rushing yards allowed per game. Okay, by their defense. This is kind of interesting that it came out, but I guess if you group in quarterback, rushes, and everything else. Matt guesses 86 yards per game given up by the defense. I guessed 78 yards per game. Correct answer. The Eagles allowed 104 yards per game. So Matt takes it, which means that he win the contest. Because the best I could do is win the last 2. So the next 2, passing average. Again, defensively, given up per game. Okay. Matt, you guessed 280 yards passing given up per game. I guessed 267. The correct answer, 174.
That's
so I take
crazy.
that.
Honestly, how good that pass defense was. 174 is insane in today's game.
Yeah, it is sick. Yep. So now it's 11-9. The best I could do is make it 11-10. Here we go. Points per game. Given up by defense. Matt, you guessed 22 points per game. I guessed 20 points.
Oh, you did go. You snuck below me. Okay.
I did. Correct answer, 17.8.
Just say it's in the teens. Yeah.
I take that one. So our final tabulation couldn't be any closer. Matt edges me out 11-10. So congratulations, Matt. Good job.
Thanks. It's pretty good.
Pretty good it's just pretty, we nailed some of them right on the nose. And then others way the hell off. Like my Hurts passing, and all that was just pie in the sky, really. Now, it would have been interesting if I actually did ask the Saquon questions. Well, how close we would have gotten to him, but I forgot to ask those questions. We'll do that next year for sure. We'll ask those questions next year.
All right?
So,
what's his total yard? Like, what was his yards per carry average? Do you know?
I can pull that up right here.
It must have ended up around 6, 5 point something, 5.89.
Good question. Let me get his stats here. Saquon, you want his yards per average carry?
Yards per carry, yeah.
5.8.
5.8. Yep. Makes
Almost
sense.
6 yards to carry, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Averaged 125.3 yards per game.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
He can't stay healthy. He can't play. Whatever. I knew where I was going in fantasy football.
Yeah. Well, I had him too in one of my leagues. Not the one that I did horrible and started off 0-7. I didn't have him in that league. Not to have a flashback of that nightmare season. I won a toilet bowl though. Team shut up at the end of the
year. You can pick Barkley next year.
I can pick him next year.
Yep.
Oh man. All right, so we're gonna we're still live here, right? For a second, I thought I might have clicked off. All right, so a couple of thoughts here before we wrap it up for today. Next week, by the way, I'm going to try to get Johnny Flowers on to talk free agency. and the combine. So we're going to try to get Johnny, our Commander fan friend, on to talk a little NFC East. So that'll be fun.
They gave Jonathan Allen permission to seek a trade today.
Saw that. Yeah, I saw that. I also saw this rumor that if Howie gets a sense, or the Eagles get a sense that the Commanders are going to go after Garrett, that the Eagles are going to jump in and try to stop it from happening by having a better offer. So I don't know how much. Again, this time of the year, you're going to get a bunch of rumors like that, but there seems to be something like that. There might be some gamesmanship going on with the Garrett. But the thing is, the Cleveland Browns, they're still saying he's not available for trade. So I don't know if that's even true.
Well, they have to say that. Otherwise, they drive the bargain down.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
But I'll tell you what, the Eagles have something. The Eagles have something that the Commanders don't have if we're looking at trading for Myles Garrett. And it's the fix for the Cleveland Browns on the cheap that maybe they would go for.
Who's that?
You throw in Tanner McKee tagged to whatever else they trade.
I'd rather get Pickett.
I know, I would too. And maybe Howie's Howie, so maybe he'll give him Pickett and the Browns will go for it. But if they have anybody smart over there,
yeah,
you can see Howie saying, hey, I'll give you 2 firsts, but we're not giving you a 3rd first. You can have a first this year, a first next year, and Tanner McKee. And we saw
as much as I love McKee, and obviously Cleveland needs a quarterback. Give them 2 number ones, because our number ones, they're basically number 2 picks, because first of all, this year's definitely is, because it's the last pick in the first round. Next year, the Eagles should be a low pick again, depending how far the Eagles go, but more than likely it's going to be another low pick. So I'd give away 2 firsts and Tanner McKee for Garrett. I definitely do that. I would do it.
Yep. So, and that's the one thing I think that nobody else has got a quarterback that they can trade that's young and cheap and good and has proven themselves that they could play. And I'm like, the Eagles are the only one.
Yeah.
They're the only one.
They can even call it Josh Huff if they want him. I keep calling him
Josh Huff. Yeah. Honestly, throw Huff and that salary and with McGee and 2 picks. Like, it could be blockbuster if they don't want him to go to Commanders, and if they're serious about it. I wouldn't want to see McKee play anywhere else either, but I'm like, that can play. So it's like, let him play. Like, I'd rather see him take off. And
because I was thinking
because Hurts ain't going anywhere.
Yeah, and I was thinking that's true. So then we can actually see him play too, which would kind of fun, because we both think he's really good, or can be good. We don't know if he's really good yet, but he definitely looks like he could be. But what is interesting is I was like, well, how the heck are the Eagles ever going to compete with the Commanders, because they have just so much money? But that, we're talking trade. It has nothing to do with money. You have to acquire the guy first, and so the Eagles, especially since they're not in rebuilding mode, or as much of a rebuilding mode as Washington's still in. Yeah, they'd be willing to give up probably a couple first and throw in McKee and maybe sweeten a deal like that. Because then you got to pay Garrett. You know what I mean? Like, Garrett probably would prefer to go to Washington because he can make serious bank going there. Because I think whatever team that gets him is going to have to redo his contract. More than likely, because I think he's only got a year. He's either got 1 or 2 years left on it. So,
well, and both the Commanders and the Eagles have good playoff hopes and chances at a Super Bowl for the next.
That's not going to change.
Wide open, right? So
yeah. Just Washington's got more money to pay him, but it doesn't matter because they got to acquire him first. So that'd be interesting. That's something we'll talk with Johnny about next week as well. The other thing is, it sounds like if you read the tea leaves, a lot of the people that are close to the Eagles seem to think that out of all of the free agents, like Matt and I went over who we thought was the top 5, and our lists were basically exactly the same, give or take 1 spot. Milt Williams, Vaughn, who are the other guys there?
Mekhi
Becton,
Isaiah Rodgers.
Yeah, Isaiah Rodgers. So it appears that out of those, that the ones that the Eagles have really circled that they're going to try to keep appears to be Zach Vaughn. So which is good. I think they should try to keep him. That's the one that they look like they're focusing on making sure that they keep. We'll see what happens. as far as definitely looks like Josh Sweat. That's the other one. And Milton Williams they're probably not going to be Eagles. So I think we just have to get ready for that. And Becton seems to be the question mark. He's the one that's kind of like the wild card where nobody really has a sense as far as, if he's going to be able to come back or not. So, and then really what that comes down to is how much it's more of an unknown what he's going to be offered in free agency than the other guys. Like Sweat's going to make a decent amount of money. Williams is going to be ridiculous. But what does the rest of the league feel about Becton versus what the Eagles feel about him? Of course, we like him a lot. But how much, are other teams willing to spend? As long as he doesn't get this mega huge offer, it appears that the Eagles might be able to retain him too. So we'll see. But it appears the good news is it looks like they really want to keep on, and they're going to do what they can to keep him out of those top guys. And one of our other top guys, Matt mentioned him a second ago, was Rodgers on our list. And we didn't hear anything about him, but man, I really, really want the Eagles to keep him too. But we'll see.
They've got to sign him. Got to sign Rodgers.
I mean, maybe that's why Howie's not talking him up much. That could be too. Could be total strategy why he's not even mentioning him, because maybe they're going to try to get him just signed kind of under the radar. Like, wouldn't surprise me if, like, within minutes of free agency, which I think is on the 14th, so I think it's when it starts, or somewhere around there, 13th, 14th. Within minutes, you'll hear that Rodgers hopefully signs with the Eagles.
We'll see. For at least 3 years, 3 years or more.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, to me, because whether Slay comes back or not, which right now he's under contract, but he still could retire. The Eagles might let him go. You need to have, Rodgers in there, I think, unless their plan is to move Cooper to the other corner spot, which is probably what they drafted him for. So we'll see. All right. Well, keep this show kind of short and sweet. Hope you guys enjoyed our predictions and how, we couldn't have come any closer. Matt edges me out by 11-10. So good job, Matt. I'll try to,
I will say it's easier to hit Devontae Smith for 8 touchdowns and be exact than it is to say Nakobe Dean for 80 tackles.
Yeah, so I saw that, like, wow. Because I'm like, damn, Matt's close, 83. Right on the nose with 80. Yeah, that's hard to do. But hey, you don't get any bonus points for it, Matt. You got me by 1.
Yeah.
Good job. It's always a fun exercise to do. Next year, we'll make sure we get the Barkley predictions in there. And maybe we'll do some other kind of cool questions. Like, I like the over-under on number of interceptions. That was pretty cool. So we'll try to do stuff like that too.
Yeah.
All right. We cover everything. Any closing thoughts?
No, the only other thing I heard about Zach Bond was the Niners. I read an article that said the Niners might be interested in trying to get him.
Yeah.
And that's the only team I've read so far that has interest. But, the number I've seen pop twice is $40 million. Like 3 years for $40 million is roughly.
Yeah, I've seen that too. Yeah, I have seen
I don't know if
sounds about right. Some team could come in there and do something like, 3 years for 45. I could see that too. Now, the 49ers, that's interesting because don't they have to pay Purdy this year? Like, isn't his contract up?
Yeah, but I'm not so sure they're going to pay him. There's I know for a fact there's a 49ers fan that listens to our show, and he doesn't think they're going to, he doesn't care. He would rather see them go.
Really? That's interesting. Yep. So who's there right now? So are they going to draft somebody, or are they going to go after one of these, because they did have, what's his name there in Minnesota? They had him a couple years ago. Let him go. You wonder if they'll bring him back. What am I thinking of? The Donald.
Darnold. Yeah. Darnold's a free agent. Maybe they go back to Darnold. Because I don't know who their backup is. Like, I couldn't even name him who's backing up Purdy right now.
Either. I don't know either. Is that the guy that came in the Super Bowl still? Like the third stringer?
Yeah.
I can't remember his name. But anyway, shout out to the 49er fan that you're referring to that watches the show. Thank you very much. And by the way, while I have a moment, make sure you like and subscribe. All right, as we're trying to get our subscriptions up there. We're going to do more live streams heading into next year as we hope to build more of an audience. Hopefully we double it between now and the start of next season. And we'll do more live streams because those are more where we can interact with you guys. So I'm just not going to do too many live streams until we have the subscribers, enough subscribers to do it. Just doesn't make much sense to do it until then. But we love doing the live streams. That's really what it's the direction of the show I want it to go. I want you guys to be able to interact, ask us questions. We'll throw some things back with you, get into debates. That's where it gets fun. So not that we're not having fun doing this, but
if you think we need a producer, start filling that chat box with comments, and we'll go get a producer so we can keep up with them during the live show.
Exactly. I'd love to have that problem where we can't keep up the amount of communication and chat boxes just scrolling like this with all these questions and comments. That's where this program's going. So be a part of it. Like and subscribe. Leave a comment down here about this program. I mean, not that there's much to talk about unless you have your own predictions that you had that you want to compare with ours. But we'll do that again next year before the season starts. But we have a lot going on. I mean, the Eagles are right back into it. They just won the Super Bowl, right into the combine now, and then free agency, and then obviously the draft coming up. So that's all I got, man. Anything you got there to close it out?
No, I'll be over the off season after this show. I don't know how many weeks will go by in between. I know we're trying to shoot for one every Wednesday, but at some point I'll have redecorated all this and get some more Eagles flair going on instead of this boring neutral background that I'm sitting in front of. So I'm excited about that, but just a project.
You got that nice piece of art that your wife painted for you.
Laying right over there.
Yeah, I got to do the same thing. I just have a green screen back here. So eventually, I have a lot of Eagles autograph photos and things. So we'll do that too. That'll be something else we work on in the off season.
There we go. Got to spruce it up.
Sounds good. Matt, thanks again for your time. We'll catch you guys in a week. And again, we hope to have Johnny as a guest on to talk about the Commanders and the NFC East as we head into the combine and free agency. So with that, thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time. By the way, just to remind everybody, pointing the right, no, not pointing the right way. Right there.
Champs.
Super Bowl champions.
I wonder if Johnny's gotten over that ass kicking yet.
We can ask him. We'll ask him. See if his butt is still sore. That's spanking.
Yeah.
All right, man. Thanks again, Matt. Thanks again for watching, everybody. And fly, Eagles, fly. And we'll catch you next week. Same time, same channel.
Peace.